about the third year live-off process. We created a Google form for students to input their information. It was an application process. It wasn't guaranteed that you were going to be approved or accepted to live off campus. And I think those are the conversations we needed to have with students. We are looking at revamping that for next year, and definitely will take the input that students have.
The Res Ed equals Gaddafi posters caused a bit of a stir. And I think that students kind of just assumed it was a bit of a joke, a prank, born out of frustration at Res Ed, but really not thoroughly thought out. But I would like to challenge those claims by asserting that actually the project was hugely symbolic of all of the flaws that I see in the Res Ed. They're just parallels. It isn't exactly a literal translation. I mean, obviously, Res Ed and housing services and flying fighter jets overhead and dropping bombs on their students. But I think that they definitely aren't looking out for their interests, just as Gaddafi didn't look out for the interests of his people.
People who applied to live off campus, the form just said, "Here, fill this out. It's due then," and then you filled it out and you submitted it. It didn't say like, once you submit this, you will be put into this group and you're allowed to accept us after that, but there's no background information.
Conduct had a lot to do with students not being accepted or approved, in addition to looking at GPA and how they presented themselves in regards to their involvement with college programs or activities.
You have a staff or a student body that is very singular in perspective. You have blind spots. You can't see things from another perspective. And so what we try to do is we try to bring in many different people from many different backgrounds so that when there is a new policy or a new program or a new activity, that we can think about how different groups might think about that activity or that program.
I think in the end, Res Ed does want to ensure what is best for us. They want us to be safe. They want to provide, in most circumstances, a decent living situation. I think that they just are oftentimes misguided.
The RAs on every floor really try to build that community. They try to solicit what the students are interested in and try to provide activities that are related around those areas. But the other thing that they try to do is pull in faculty and staff so that students can get a wider, broad understanding of the educational process.
I think that the way that the school is directing the RAs makes it difficult for them to get people who actually care about the communities that they're building, who are actually invested in both the safety as well as the happiness of their students.
I think that there needs to be a mechanism for RAs to safely voice their opinions to the Res Ed staff. Right now, I feel that RAs they kind of have to walk the line between being a student and having concerns, but also being part of Res Ed.
We actually try to get as much feedback as we can, and when only a few students come forward and voice their concerns, obviously we're only hearing from a subset of the student body. But that's what we hear, and so we do the best that we can with that information.
I think that there's very little outlet for students. Even so, there are a lot of things that a lot of students have expressed time and time again. They would like to see change in housing policies, and nothing ever happens, and that's hugely frustrating.
So we send out emails. We have hall listservs that we routinely try to send information out on. We also do it through our Facebook page. We encourage people to sign up. Even if you don't like OXY Housing, I think it's something that's where we put information so people can get that information.
I get about, 5 emails from today? Approximately 5, sometimes more, sometimes less. And honestly, I don't really read them anymore because they rarely say anything of value to me.
We had a balloon man come for 2 weeks, and I think that is really nice. I mean, he was here partially over spring break when no one was here. As far as Res Ed's job goes, their main responsibility is to ensure that we have a good living situation, that things run smoothly.
Get involved with the student government, get involved with the residential advisory board. That's where we really hope to solicit a lot of feedback. The second thing is there's a general assembly.
The student body has a lot of concerns and critiques of Res Ed, but I don't completely blame Res Ed for not putting them into place, simply because I think that it's important that the student body actually express their concerns to Res Ed.
Right now we're trying to collect information from students about their concerns, and we're trying to see what the the big groups of concerns are so that we can constructively work with the administration to help fix them.